Hey everybody, Smart Silver Stacker here. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be delving into the realm of the GoldBack, one of the most controversial forms of bullion out there, one of the most loved, one of the most hated types of gold you can get your hands on, at least from the feedback I have gotten when I've covered these in the past. And I'm going to share with you some uses, some features, some things you can do with your GoldBacks that you might not actually be aware of, because I do think that at least in part, a lot of the hate that these things get is due to misconceptions about what GoldBacks really are and what they offer. But even if you're somebody who doesn't love the GoldBacks necessarily, who doesn't want to add them to your stack, maybe you hate them, maybe you think they cost too much, maybe you think the premiums are too high, I still think we should be very happy as stackers that there are companies out there, there are individuals who are attempting to pioneer new innovations in the sound money space, and who are looking for solutions to a huge problem that we face, a problem of fiat debt-based currency that is losing its purchasing power because the debt in the U.S., the U.S. national debt, is now over $34 trillion. We got unfunded liabilities to the tune of more than $200 trillion. And in terms of the purchasing power of the dollar, well, we know how that's been going in recent years. It has lost a lot of it. So maybe you don't think that GoldBacks are the correct solution to this, but the fact that they're being proposed as a sound money alternative to the dollar, I think we should all be very glad about that. And at the end of the day, maybe you don't think GoldBacks are the right solution, but the free market is going to be the force that really sorts that out for us. And clearly, some participants in the market are utilizing the GoldBacks, because you can look at this chart of the number of GoldBacks produced, and you can see that on a quarterly basis, it's just been up and up and up since these things were first introduced in 2019. So somebody is using GoldBacks. And the first piece of information I want to share with you surrounding GoldBacks should be helpful to you if you ever want to attempt to spend them or use them as sound money. And that is the fact that there is actually an official GoldBack exchange rate, which you can find by visiting goldback.com. It's right up at the top of the page, so it's very easy to find. And this is a useful resource for you if you ever want to try to pay somebody in sound money, because you've got this rate of exchange into fiat right here at the top of the site that you can use as a reference. Now, I do think it's important to note that this official exchange rate really is only a suggestion. One thing you'll notice is if you visit some dealers like SD Bullion, this is a channel sponsor, it's a place where I buy most of my gold and silver, they don't actually go by the official exchange rate. And it's kind of interesting, you'll notice that a one GoldBack note is $5.79. That's above the official exchange rate fairly significantly. But then if you go to their offering for a 50 GoldBack note, $187.15 for a 50 GoldBack note, that's actually significantly below the official exchange rate. So look, one thing you got to understand is that GoldBacks are a new thing. The free market is still kind of doing its thing where it's figuring out how exactly these should be implemented. GoldBack would like these to be fungible, meaning that a 50 GoldBack note should have the same value as 51 GoldBack notes. Will that ultimately be the case? Is that how these things are going to get valued at the end of the day by market participants? Well, again, the free market is going to sort that out for us. That would be new in terms of fractional gold products. You got fractional gold taken to a whole new level with GoldBacks. Think about this. You got a 1/10 ounce gold coin here. This coin has as much gold in it as this stack of 100 GoldBack notes. But even with traditional bullion like this, you're going to pay more on a per ounce basis when you're buying a 1/10 ounce gold coin if you compare that to, say, a 1 ounce gold coin. With GoldBacks, they're trying to make them fungible, where a 50 GoldBack note costs the same as 51 GoldBack notes. But personally, I tend to prefer the 1 GoldBack notes. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a better value there because they are super fractional, right? A 50 GoldBack note, that's got 1/20th of an ounce of gold in it. It's like having, half of this coin. And it doesn't really have the same appeal to me personally. But again, your personal feelings towards GoldBacks are fine. Feel free to share them in the comments down below if you have some thoughts on these things. But at the end of the day, the free market's a beautiful thing. it is going to sort that out for us on its own. And we'll just have to see how this plays out. Now, the GoldBacks certainly are being more widely adopted. That is the trend. Here on the GoldBack website, they've got a business locator. You can see there's 5 states that GoldBacks currently operate in. You got Utah, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, and Wyoming. Each state has its own GoldBack. And if we go to the Utah Business Finder here on the GoldBack website, you can see that there's a huge number of businesses in Utah that currently accept GoldBacks. Actually, from what I've heard, there's more businesses in Utah that will take GoldBacks than will currently take Bitcoin. So in terms of alternatives to fiat debt-based currency, GoldBacks are actually giving cryptocurrency a run for its money. That's pretty interesting. But the last thing I really want to emphasize here with GoldBacks today, and a feature of GoldBacks that I think really sets them apart, and it's an amazing thing that is currently being offered, is that you can earn interest on your GoldBacks. If you want to do that, you got to participate in what's called a GoldBack Lease. You can head over to this site, upma.org. This is the United Precious Metals Association. If you set up an account with them, they do a number of things. One thing they'll do is they will actually store your GoldBacks for you in an account at no cost. So free storage of your GoldBacks. And you can have them mail you your GoldBacks. You can cash out of them at any time. So pretty interesting. But that is the least interesting feature of one of these UPMA GoldBack accounts. You can actually lease your GoldBacks out and earn anywhere from 2 to 3.5% APR paid in gold. Now, traditionally, one of the biggest problems with gold and also with silver is that they are assets which offer no yield. You know, Warren Buffett has talked about this before. He says gold is one of these assets that you pay to dig it out of the ground, you pay to refine it, and then you pay to put it back in a hole in the ground in the form of a vault and to store it. And so rather than offering you a yield like, say, a treasury note or a savings account or even a stock that pays a dividend, gold doesn't pay you anything. Well, now, with these GoldBack leases that you can sign up for over at the UPMA, you can actually earn interest that is paid on your gold and paid in gold. Now, the interest rate that you get is going to vary depending on how many GoldBacks you actually commit to your lease. If you're starting out with a small amount, it'll be 2%. It kind of scales up as you get to bigger numbers, all the way up to 3.5% interest. And it is a bit of a commitment once you enter one of those leases. It's sort of like a CD in the sense that you have to give them 60 days notice. Some of the leases actually can have a 1-year minimum. It's all over there at upma.org. You can read the terms and conditions that they have on their site. But, you know, there's very, very few bullion products out there that offer the feature to be able to get a yield on your metal. And so it's just another example of how GoldBack is creating innovative new solutions to the problem of a debt-based devaluing currency. And yeah, I know, like, for example, on a savings account right now, you can probably earn more than 3.5%, right? You could earn 4 or 5% in a money market account or a high yield savings account right now. But then you have to consider the fact that what's the real rate of return on that? Because your fiat currency that you're earning that interest on is also being devalued. So with GoldBack leases, you basically know what the real rate of return is right off the bat. It's 2 to 3.5%. There is no inflation that is going to devalue your GoldBacks. There's no calculation you have to do to determine what the real rate is. So this is definitely something to examine, and it's something that solves a problem. And that is what we're looking for when it comes to sound money, you know, new innovative solutions to problems. That's what the free market gives us. Are GoldBacks going to be the be-all, end-all replacement for fiat currency? I mean, maybe that seems like a bit of a long shot. I don't know. But the free market is going to figure that out for us. And again, you know, love them or hate them, I think we should all be glad that they're out there and that they're being thrown out into the marketplace of ideas and of solutions. And we're going to find out how viable a solution they are. But if you look at the production numbers for GoldBacks, clearly somebody out there believes that these are at least in part a solution to the problem of fiat currency. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Stay safe and happy stacking, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Smart Silver Stacker out.